In business optimization, Ananya will guide us through Oracle Apex workflows for business optimization, what's new and improved. The floor is yours.
Good morning, everybody. Hope after the tea break, all of you are rejuvenated and looking forward to this session. So as I was introduced, as mentioned in the introduction, I work for Oracle for the last 20 plus years. And from the beginning of my career, I have been working on workflows. Though my starting with Apex was only in 2021, but all my life I have been doing business process automation related work. So before we begin, I would like to know by a raise of hands, how many of you have tried business process management tools of any kind, not just Oracle Apex? Okay. Can you answer what kind of BPM and tools have you used, or BPM tools? What tool did you use? Sorry, what? Fusion workflows you have used, which was built using the BPMs of three kinds. We have parameters, we have workflow variables, and we have activity variables. You can imagine it, because all of you must be knowing PL SQL. You have variables in PL SQL. You have local variables. So there are two ways in which you can start a workflow. One is by defining a page process. How many of you don't know about page processes? Don't know. Okay. But most of you know about page processes. Page processes are ways by which, through a button click, you would want to execute, through a button click or submitting an Apex page, you want to run some kind of code. So workflow is available, starting a workflow is available as a plugin, a page process plugin itself. That is one way. Or you also have apex_workflow.start, as well as many other APIs which you can directly call in order to interact with your workflow. So this is when you pass parameters to the workflow. For example, for an employee onboarding use case, what are the typical information that you would like to send over to the workflow? Most likely it will be the joining date, the department details, the employee address, the employee ID, all of those things. For a leave approval workflow, it will be the number of leaves, the purpose, the justification, the manager information. So what is the information that you're sending to the workflow? That becomes a parameter. So this I am giving you a gist of what workflow is about. I will later, in a later slide, explain that we do have our developer professional course now updated to include workflow. We have 125 minutes of workflow with tutorials and demos. And as part of your certification course, you are encouraged to do that, because workflow is not something that I can intuitively teach you in 5 minutes. You have to go through it, especially if you do not have the business process mindset to inculcate that. I think this kind of tutorial is going to be very handy. We also have a live lab session that is very detailed, which has a typical medical appointment scenario, which also is heavily dependent on workflows, and that is very detailed. I would encourage all of you to go through it and try it out, and with that you will have some knowledge of how workflow and human tasks, all of them, come together. But my focus of today's session is not a brief history of workflows. It is about the new features and enhancements in 24.2. So I will go there. Or if you have used workflows, then you'll know about it. The workflow instances that get created and completed, do they reside forever in the Apex database, or do they get purged at regular intervals?
It should be there. It should be there. That yellow, you can tell.
It will stay around 24 hours. Like in Azure, it will stay around 24 hours. Like it stay on.
They will stay forever in the database.
24 hours.
24 hours. Okay. So no correct answers. Anybody else want to try?
They are going to stay forever.
Okay, then I believe I need to cover this in the next session. The answer is wrong. Basically, you can define a retention period in your instance, and based on the retention period, it will stay. So the default for workflows is like 30 days. Sorry?
All depend on instance.
Yes.
If instance is not there, then it will not come out, right? So it cannot be linked with that. And based on your question, it will stay forever till the instance is available, right?
No, no, no. I'm talking about your Apex instance. There's a default value. There's a default value of 30 days.
You can control it.
But the default value is there.
That needs to be declared. That needs to be included. How much time do I need to?
No, you don't have to. There's a default value of 30 days. But if you want to change it, then you
You
can.
mean workflow is completed, that history of that, how long can we take?
That's what I am saying. If I have the Apex instance available with me, then the workflow will continue with that.
That also
right?
is defined, when your Apex instance will be there, but
So the
your
by
instance
default
will
time
get
is 30 days.
Workflow instance will get purged, your Apex instance will be there. History of that.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, thank you also. So who gets? I think she gets. Okay.